Understanding a person's financial behavior offers a revealing glimpse into their deeper values, priorities, and overall worldview. In the case of the Sigma male, a man known for his independence, self-reliance, and nonconformist nature, money serves a far more profound purpose than mere purchasing power. For him, it is not about flaunting wealth or acquiring symbols of social status. Instead, money is a calculated tool, one that is strategically wielded to protect his autonomy, enhance personal efficiency, and ensure long-term freedom from dependency or control. Every financial decision he makes is filtered through a lens of practicality and foresight. Unlike the average consumer, who may be prone to impulsive spending or driven by a need for external validation, the Sigma male takes a methodical, almost minimalist approach to how he manages his finances. He does not chase temporary pleasures or prestige. Instead, he evaluates every potential purchase by its long-term value, asking whether it supports his goals, safeguards his time, and aligns with his mission for self-sovereignty. For the Sigma, money is a form of leverage, not luxury. This mindset is most clearly observed in what he chooses not to spend money on. This guide explores 10 specific categories where Sigma males deliberately avoid financial expenditure, each choice grounded in a strong rationale rooted in logic, independence, and purpose. By diving into these often overlooked financial decisions, we gain insight into the deeper psychology of the Sigma male's lifestyle, one that rejects waste, avoids shallow trends, and centers on intentional living. In doing so, we uncover a framework for spending that is not only financially sound, but also deeply aligned with personal empowerment and freedom. 1. Annual smartphone upgrades, rejecting planned obsolescence. In an era where consumer electronics companies deliberately release new devices every year with only marginal improvements, the Sigma male stands firm against the tide of planned obsolescence. Unlike the average consumer who eagerly anticipates each smartphone launch and lines up to be among the first adopters, the Sigma male remains unimpressed by superficial enhancements, such as a slightly brighter screen, a few extra megapixels, or a barely noticeable increase in processing speed. His purchasing decisions are never driven by marketing hype or peer pressure. Instead, the Sigma male applies a strict decision-making framework rooted in logic and long-term value. Before even considering a smartphone upgrade, he poses 2 essential questions. Does this new device offer a critical function that my current phone lacks? And more importantly, will this purchase result in a tangible return, either by boosting my productivity or creating new streams of income? If the answer to either of these questions is no, he dismisses the upgrade altogether. His current phone remains in use until one of 3 conditions forces a replacement. First, when security updates are no longer supported, leaving him vulnerable to digital threats. Second, when the battery deteriorates to the point where it disrupts his daily efficiency. Or third, when essential apps are no longer compatible with the outdated operating system. Only then does he deem a new purchase necessary, not for novelty, but for functionality. This disciplined approach brings both financial and psychological advantages. Financially, by skipping unnecessary yearly upgrades, the Sigma male reallocates his money toward assets that yield long-term benefits, such as investments in stocks, real estate, or advanced skill development. Psychologically, this behavior reinforces his self-image as a deliberate and independent thinker. He sees technology purely as a tool, not a symbol of social standing. Additionally, by refusing to contribute to the cycle of tech waste, he aligns his spending habits with broader values like sustainability and environmental responsibility. In this way, his restraint with smartphones exemplifies a deeper philosophy. Spend only where it counts, and let every dollar serve a higher purpose. 2. Sky-high interest debt, the trap of borrowed consumption. In a society driven by instant gratification and consumerism, high-interest debt has become a normalized trap that slowly erodes financial freedom. Credit card companies skillfully entice the average consumer with tempting offers, airline miles, cashback rewards, and exclusive discounts. These incentives are carefully designed to mask the true cost of carrying a balance at annual percentage rates often exceeding 20%. While many fall into this illusion of benefits, the Sigma male sees through the facade. He understands that the real price of these rewards is long-term financial enslavement, and that compounding interest is not just a burden. It's a stealthy destroyer of wealth. The Sigma male follows a strict philosophy when it comes to debt. Avoid it unless it serves a strategic and high-return purpose. He refuses to finance consumer goods or experiences that depreciate the moment they're purchased. Instead, he exercises patience and discipline, delaying purchases until he can afford to pay in full. If a need is urgent, he seeks cost-effective alternatives, buying used or refurbished items to stretch his money further. In situations where cash is limited, he chooses to hustle harder, generating income through side gigs or freelance work rather than defaulting to borrowed money. There are only a few rare exceptions where the Sigma male considers that acceptable, and even then, it is approached with caution. These exceptions are strictly limited to investments that either appreciate in value or generate passive income, such as rental properties, business inventory with validated demand, or opportunities in the market where returns significantly exceed the borrowing cost. But high-interest consumer debt, especially for material goods or luxury lifestyles, is firmly rejected. To the Sigma, it represents not convenience, but captivity, his core belief. Never trade future freedom for temporary pleasure. 3. Influencer guru courses, the scam of repackaged knowledge. The digital world is saturated with self-proclaimed gurus, promising wealth, success, and transformation, all wrapped in slickly marketed online courses. These programs often rely on psychological manipulation, fake urgency like only 10 spots left, ostentatious displays of rented sports cars and luxury homes, and flashy testimonials. Yet beneath the surface, these so-called masterclasses are frequently nothing more than recycled content freely available in books, forums, or podcasts. The Sigma male sees through the theatrics. He knows that most of these courses offer more hype than substance and are designed to enrich the guru, not the student. Rather than fall victim to this modern con, the Sigma male takes a grounded and self-directed approach to learning. He curates high-quality, free knowledge from credible sources, such as academic journals, expert interviews, and in-depth case studies. He prefers hands-on experience over passive consumption, actively seeking real-world practice and results. When mentorship is necessary, he chooses to learn from professionals who have proven expertise in their fields, not just a polished social media persona. When the Sigma does spend money on education, it is with intention and clear outcomes in mind. He invests in domain-specific coaching that provides measurable growth, immersive workshops that offer immediate feedback, and certifications that are recognized and respected in the industry. But vague mastermind groups, generic motivational content, or overpriced 10x programs, he doesn't waste a second or a dollar on them. His learning strategy is based on utility, not inspiration porn. For designer luggage, paying for vulnerability. In the world of luxury travel, designer luggage is marketed as a status symbol, something that signifies success and sophistication. Yet for the Sigma male, these high-priced bags represent a paradox. Rather than enhancing his travel experience, they invite unnecessary complications and risk. Logo cover high-end suitcases don't just attract admiration, they draw the attention of opportunists and thieves. In airports, train stations, and hotels, they serve as silent invitations to be targeted. And ironically, these premium bags often require delicate handling, making them ill-suited for the rough realities of real-world travel. The Sigma male's approach to travel is grounded in discretion and durability. He opts for rugged, no-nonsense materials like ballistic nylon or reinforced polycarbonate, materials built to withstand abuse and still perform flawlessly. He prefers scuff-resistant finishes that look better with age, not worse. Minimalist design is key. The less attention his luggage draws, the better. This isn't just about aesthetics. It's about practicality and safety. By avoiding flashy branding and fragile fashion statements, he travels with less stress and fewer liabilities. For the Sigma, functionality always trumps fashion. A bag's true value lies in how well it protects and organizes its essentials, not in the prestige of the brand it carries. In this way, his luggage choices reflect his broader worldview. Don't pay more to impress others. Pay for what works. 5. Subscription traps. The slow bleed of recurring fees. In today's digital economy, recurring subscription fees have become a silent drain on personal finances. What begins as a seemingly insignificant $9.99 a month can quickly snowball into hundreds of dollars annually, often without the consumer even realizing it. Streaming platforms, gym memberships, SaaS tools, digital magazines, and even mystery box deliveries are all marketed as affordable conveniences. But the Sigma male sees through the illusion. He understands that these recurring charges, while small on their own, compound into a financial bleed that can quietly erode his budget and autonomy over time. To combat this, the Sigma male applies a discipline system, a quarterly audit of all subscriptions. He systematically cuts out any service that does not deliver consistent, measurable value. Unused gym memberships are terminated. Redundant streaming services, often kept out of habit, are canceled without hesitation. Mystery box deliveries and novelty subscriptions that only contribute to clutter are the first to go. He refuses to pay for ongoing services that add no real benefit to his life. Instead, the Sigma favors ownership over perpetual renting. He builds a personal library of physical books, DVDs, and music collections, resources that he can use without restriction, regardless of changing subscription terms. When digital tools are essential, he seeks out lifetime licenses or opts for free and open source alternatives. His mindset is clear. Why pay monthly for something you could own outright? This approach not only saves money over time, but reinforces his core values: self-reliance, minimalism, and financial control. 6. Checkout counter impulses, the retail mind game. Retailers are masters of psychological manipulation, and one of their most effective tools is the strategic placement of impulse buy items at the point of checkout. Whether the candy bar in a grocery store or a limited time gadget recommendation on an e-commerce site, these products are designed to trigger last-minute dopamine spikes. They appeal to emotion, not logic, catching consumers off guard just before they complete a transaction. The tactic exploits cravings, urgency, and fear of missing out, resulting in unnecessary purchases that clutter lives and chip away at savings. The Sigma male, however, is mentally armored against this game. He shops with intention, not emotion. Every shopping trip, online or offline, begins with a clear, non-negotiable list. He refuses to deviate from it, no matter how compelling the product pitch. For non-essential items, he employs a 48-hour rule. If he's still thinking about it after 2 days, then it might be worth considering. Otherwise, the desire fades, and with it, the risk of wasteful spending. Before any spontaneous buy, he pauses and asks himself a simple but powerful question. Will this item add genuine value to my life, or will it just become another piece of clutter? This moment of reflection protects him not only from retail traps, but also from the habit of consuming without purpose. By mastering delayed gratification, the Sigma male secures both his wallet and his peace of mind. 7. Flashy cars, the ego tax of status vehicles. Luxury cars are one of the most common traps for those seeking external validation. The sleek designs, roaring engines, and prestigious logos appeal to the ego, projecting an image of success and power. But beneath the surface, flashy vehicles come with a heavy financial burden. Inflated sticker prices, sky-high insurance premiums, costly maintenance, and rapid depreciation. To the Sigma male, this equation doesn't add up, not unless the car serves a purpose beyond vanity. He views car ownership through a lens of utility and efficiency. If a vehicle aligns with personal passion, such as high-performance engineering or off-road capability, it may be considered, but if the primary motivation is to impress others or boost social standing, it's an automatic disqualification. The Sigma male lives for himself, not for the admiration of strangers. Before any purchase, he weighs the total cost of ownership against its real-world value. How does the price compare to alternative investments like stocks, real estate, or building a side business? Could this money be used to acquire assets that grow instead of depreciate? He also factors in the psychological cost, especially the stress and pressure taking on debt just to maintain appearances. In his world, a reliable used car coupled with a growing investment portfolio beats fleeting admiration every time. He understands that confidence comes from within, not for what's parked in the driveway. 8. Lottery tickets and gambling, the tax on hope. For the average person, lottery tickets and gambling represent a seductive dream. overnight riches, life-changing jackpots, and an escape from financial hardship. But the Sigma male views these temptations through a lens of cold, rational analysis. He understands the statistical reality. The odds are stacked against the player. Lotteries are carefully designed to generate profits for the organizers, not the participants. They thrive on hope, but deliver disappointment, rather than waste money on chance. The Sigma chooses paths rooted in skill, effort, and predictable growth. He puts his money into index funds, where steady compounding works quietly but powerfully over time. He also prioritizes income streams that reward his expertise and effort, freelancing, digital businesses, and scalable side hustles. For the Sigma, building wealth is not a gamble. It's a deliberate, long-term strategy. That said, he doesn't reject gambling entirely. It can have a place, but only as a form of entertainment, never as a financial plan. A small bet during a poker night with friends or a casual wager on a sports game is fine, provided the stakes are inconsequential. But when the goal becomes hitting it big, he walks away. Hope, in the Sigma's world, is no substitute for strategy. 9. Cheap tools, the false economy of disposable goods. At first glance, buying low-cost tools and equipment seems practical, especially when budget is a concern. But the Sigma male sees the hidden cost behind this false economy. Cheap tools often break easily, require frequent replacements, and slow down progress due to inefficiency. What appears to be a bargain quickly becomes a burden, costing more over time in both money and frustration. The Sigma lives by a simple principle: buy once, cry once. He understands that investing in professional-grade tools, whether for home, business, or personal use, may require a larger upfront cost, but the payoff is durability, reliability, and performance over the long haul. Time is one of his most valued assets, and he refuses to waste it dealing with malfunctioning or flimsy equipment. Whether the carpenter's drill, a designer's software suite, or a mechanic's wrench, the Sigma male opts for quality that can last decades. He values tools that enhance his capability, empower his work, and eliminate friction from his routines. Disposable goods are for disposable mindsets. He chooses longevity. 10. Hype-driven collectibles, the bubble of artificial scarcity. In today's digital culture, collectibles driven by hype, like NFTs, rare sneaker drops, or limited edition merchandise, have become the modern gold rush. Fueled by influencer marketing and social media FOMO, fear of missing out, these items often skyrocket in price, not because of intrinsic value, but because of artificial scarcity. The Sigma male watches the speculative mania from a distance, unmoved by the noise. He avoids these markets because they rely on the greater fool theory, the idea that someone else will always be willing to pay more. But the Sigma doesn't chase trends or rely on unpredictable buyers. Instead, he focuses on assets that offer intrinsic value and reliable returns. He invests in real estate that generates rental income, stocks that pay dividends, and tools or goods that serve a clear, functional purpose in his life. For him, hype is hollow. He knows that when the buzz fades, so does the value. Viral trends come and go, but cash-flowing assets, skill-based value, and tangible goods endure. Speculative bubbles are not wealth strategies. They're distractions. Final thoughts. The Sigma male's financial framework. At the heart of the Sigma male's financial philosophy is one defining principle: control. Every dollar he spends must serve a purpose, whether it's to increase his capabilities, protect his most valuable resource, time, or expand his freedom. His money works for him, never against him. He does not fall prey to marketing tricks, emotional buying, or societal pressures. Instead, he applies logic, patience, and intentionality to every financial choice. By consistently rejecting impulsive, ego-driven, and low-value purchases, the Sigma builds a life of financial independence, clarity, and long-term security. His mindset is simple but powerful. If it doesn't add value, he doesn't buy it. If it doesn't increase freedom, it's not worth the cost. This disciplined approach allows him to rise above consumer chaos and design a life rooted in autonomy, purpose, and lasting wealth. Do these ideas resonate with you? If you found yourself nodding along or reflecting deeply on the traits and experiences we explored in this video, I'd love to hear your thoughts. The Sigma male mindset isn't often talked about openly, and your perspective, whether you identify with it personally or have encountered in others, adds valuable depth to the conversation. Drop a comment below and let me know which part hit home the most for you. Have you seen these traits in yourself or someone you know? Your insights help build a community where authenticity and growth are prioritized over popularity and performance. If you're drawn to this kind of introspective, no-nonsense content around Sigma males, psychological strength, emotional intelligence, and high-value living, there's more waiting for you. Explore the other videos on this channel for deeper dives, actionable insights, and raw truths that cut through the noise. Thanks for watching, and as always, stay sharp, stay grounded, and stay unapologetically real.